Hello, welcome you all for the class of basic steam power cycle. This is Suresh Kumar. And as all we know, the steam power cycles are used in the thermal power plants, and thermal power plants are used to generate the electrical power. And we know that electrical power has a wide application in the present day technology, and we are using the electrical power to run the refrigerators, mobiles, computers, laptops, and fans. And we have lot of gadgets and technical gadgets and lot of household gadgets and industry hold machines, motors. We are using with the electrical power only, and we are running with the electrical power. So that in order to run the country, in order to get the production in the industries, in order to run the software industries, the electrical power is a basic need. So that our government or a country has to generate the electrical power. What is the demand of the country? As per the demand of the country, the government has to generate the electrical power. So in the electrical power generation, if you see the scenario of electrical power generation, basically we have lot types of electrical power generations. We have many types of electrical power generation. I listed something here. These are the main types of the electrical power generation. Firstly, we have thermal power plants, hydro power plants, and wind power plants, and geothermal power plants, solar plants, tidal plants, and nuclear plants, and gas turbine plants, and diesel plants. These are the available types of power generation plants. But even though we having this many types, when you're talking about the India, in the India, the basic power sources are the basic source for the power electrical power generation is thermal power plants. Why? Because according to geographical stations, according to the resources, and according to the availabilities, the India is mostly developing the power pump thermal power plants only. And these thermal power plants are run by the steam power cycle. So that we are discussing about the steam power plants in this cycle. Steam power plants are used to generate the power in thermal power plant. And in this slide, I'm sure in this slide it is showing the basic components of a steam power cycle. These are the basic components of a steam power cycle. We can see here boiler and turbine. This is boiler and a turbine and a condenser and a heat. Boiler, turbine, condenser and pump. These are the basic components of a steam power cycle. Basically in the steam power cycle, we convert the water into steam, and we'll supply that steam into the turbine. In the turbine, the steam will run the turbine by its energy, and it will come out of the turbine. And when steam is running the turbine will produce the shaft work output here, the W it will produce. And after expansion in the turbine, steam will go to the condenser. In the condenser, again steam will convert into the water, and the water will be pumped by the pump into the boiler again. This is a continuous cycle. Now if you clearly explain the working of the all the components here, now we can see the boiler. The boiler is a component. As we know, we are using the boilers in the olden days. We use the boilers in the household purpose also, for the warming of a water, for a bathing, for cleaning of the glass, some clinical issues, for some clinical usages. Also, we use the hot water. In the olden days, we used to sterilize the injections which we use it for the other patients, where there is no disposable injections, where we use the same injection, same needles for the all the patients. And then a doctor used to sterilize, doctor used to clean the injection syringes all in hot water. These kind of applications we have for the boilers. We have many types of boilers also. Household boilers we are having, industry boilers we are having. When you come to the industry's boiler, the industry boiler is a component which convert water into steam uh, as a demand of the turbine. It will convert water into steam in the required amount. What turbine is required there. So here what we are doing, we are adding the water here in the boiler. We are pumping the water into the boiler. We are pumping water into the boiler, and that water is converting into steam here. Now here we are supplying some fuel into the furnace. We are burning the fuel in. We are burning the fuel in the furnace, and with the amount of that fire, the boiler is converting water into steam. This is the function of a boiler, and after this steam will go to the turbine here. The steam will go to the turbine here. In the turbine, the steam will expand isentropically and it will rotate the turbine. When steam expands isentropically and rotates the turbine, turbine develops the work output. Turbine develops a work output, and the work output formula for this particular turbine will be provided by enthalpy input minus enthalpy output of a steam. The work done by the turbine is equal to, according to steady flow energy equation, we can derive the work done formula of the turbine in the manner W is equal to H in minus H out. Hi is the enthalpy of steam which is coming into the turbine. Here this is Hi, and Ho is enthalpy of steam which is coming out of a turbine. So if we want to get the work done, we can use the formula W is equal to Hi minus Ho. W is equal to Hi minus Ho. This is the working of a turbine. Turbine will expand steam. By the expansion of the steam, it will produce the work output in the manner of W is equal to enthalpy difference. According to the numbers what we are getting in the diagram, according to that numbers, if you would like to write the work done formula of a turbine, Wt is equal to, we can write in this manner. That is nothing but H3 minus H4. Why? Because this is the third point. The before the turbine point is the third point, so that the steam is having the H3 heat here, and this is the fourth point when it's coming out of the turbine. So that steam is having H4 heat here, so that Wt is equal to H3 minus H4. This is turbine work output. And after the turbine, the steam is going into the condenser. In the condenser, steam is converting into water. The reason for conversion of steam into water is that, for example, if you immediately not convert the steam into the water, when steam is coming out of the expansion, because of its low density, because of its thermodynamical conditions, steam used to go back into the condenser again. If it is not converted into water, steam used to go back into the turbine again. So if this case happened, in this direction, one amount of steam is coming. In this direction, usually from the boiler, the regular steam is coming into the turbine. If you not convert the steam, I'm saying if you not convert the steam immediately into the water, if you leave the steam which is expanding in the turbine like steam only, that steam, because of its conditions, it will go to again into the boiler, again into the turbine. So if that happens, this stream and this stream of steam will clash inside the turbine. It will interrupt or it will oppose the running of the turbine. By that, speed of the turbine will reduce. Sometimes it may stop also. Sometimes it may get physical damage also by this kind of phenomenon. This phenomenon is called as a back pressure in the turbine. That is called as what? Back pressure in the turbine. That is called back pressure. It is called back pressure in the turbine. So in order to avoid this back pressure, we are immediately converting that steam into water in the condenser. Now in the condenser, the steam will interact with the water. Now in the condenser, to the condenser, we are sending some cool water into the condenser in this way. In this way, we will send some cool water into condenser. When this cool water going into the condenser, steam is coming in this way into the condenser. Both will interact here. The heat of the steam will go to the water. Now water becomes hot water and steam becomes saturated water. Now cool water becomes hot water and steam becomes saturated water. Steam becomes a saturated water. This is the thing happening in the condenser. In the condenser, we are converting steam into saturated water. Now that saturated water, with the help of the pump, again it will pump it into the boiler. Again it will pump back into the boiler. Again boiler will convert into steam. Again that steam is going into the turbine. This cycle will continues in the Rankine cycle. This cycle will continues again and again. This is called a steam power cycle or Rankine cycle. Why? Because steam power cycle will run on a Rankine cycle. This is about the working of a basic steam power cycle, and next we are going to discuss about the TS diagram of basic steam power cycle. TS diagram of basic steam power cycle. Here we having TS diagram of in the next slide I will show. Yes, this is the diagram where it is showing the steam power cycle with the TS diagram. Actually, steam power cycle will run on a Rankine cycle. The Rankine cycle consists one isothermal expansion, one isothermal compression, and one adiabatic or isentropic expansion, and one constant volume heating. This is a combination of a Rankine cycle. So here I will explain the Rankine cycle according to the components of the steam power cycle. Now if you see the TS diagram here, 122 indicates pump. 122 indicates pump. This 122. This 122 is what? Pump. In this process, in the 122 process, pump will circulate water or supply water from condenser to boiler. 122 pump will pump the water into the boiler. This is 122. Nothing is happening here. There is no heat addition and there is no heat rejection in the pump process. And in the 223, we are adding the heat in the boiler. 223 indicates boiler. 223 process representing the boiler process. In this process, we had heat and will convert and boiler. In this process, boiler add the heat into the water and water will convert into the steam. In the 223 process, water will convert into the steam. And when you come to the 324 process, 324 process represent the turbine process. 324 process represent the turbine process. In this process, work will be turbine in isentropic manner. Steam will expand in isentropic manner and it will produce the work. Work is nothing but difference of enthalpy. W is equal to HD. This is about a 3 to 4 process. This is about 3 to 4 process. Again, when you come to the 4 to 1 process, 4 to 1 is nothing but isothermal compression, or we are converting steam into water. 421 represents the condenser process, and in this process, we are condensing the steam into water. Either it is called as a isothermal compression. 223 is just pumping the water, and 122 is just pumping the water. 223 is nothing but a isothermal expansion. Isothermal expansion. And this turbine process is isentropic expansion. This turbine process isentropic expansion, and this condenser process is again isothermal compression. Why? Because the volume of the steam is compressed into water. When you compare the volume of the steam and water, steam is having the higher volume. So that when we are converting steam into water, volume will reduces. That's the reason we are calling it as a compression. When you go for the expansion, isothermal expansion, here water is converting into steam. So the low volume of the water is converting into the high volume of the stream. That is the reason we are calling it as a isothermal expansion. This is about the basic steam power cycle, and we have I have explained that basic steam power cycle will run on a Rankine cycle, and this Rankine cycle having the following process: 1 to 2 pump process, 2 to 3 is a boiler process, 3 to 4 is a turbine process, and 4 to 1 is a condenser, and again is a pump process. And thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. I'm closing the class.